I am joined today by Maeve Maxwell, the Chair of the Board of Governors of Roddensvale School. Roddensvale is a school for pupils with severe learning difficulties and provides for children from the ages of 3 to 19 years old. Maeve has very kindly agreed to answer some questions about the school and its ethos. So Maeve, without further ado, if you could tell us a little bit about your background and how long you've been a governor at Roddensvale.
Thank you. My daughter started Roddensvale School Nursery in 2009, and I was asked if I would be a parent representative on the Board of Governors. So I joined Governors in October 2009 and have been there ever since. A few of our long-standing governors retired in 2013, and the principal, John Madden, asked if I would consider becoming chairperson of Governors. So I have been chairperson since early 2014. I see myself as representing the parents of the children with special needs. I lived that life and I know the struggles that are faced by parents of children in Roddensvale. And I just wanted to give something back to Roddensvale, who had supported my family so much during our daughter's time in the school. Roddensvale is a very, very special place. It's a school that's full of love and respect, and I just love volunteering in the school because that's what governors are. We're volunteers. In my previous life, I did work for the Northern Ireland Civil Service, so I do have experience in legislation, and that's come useful on numerous occasions when you have to compare policy documents to legislation, but I suppose that's another story. So yeah, that's really a wee bit about myself.
Thanks, Maeve. As chair, what role do you play in setting the ethos of the school, and how do you work with the principal to establish Roddensvale's ethos?
Well, it's quite easy. Roddensvale is a very caring, happy school. It's a school for children with severe learning difficulties, aged between 3 and 19. And its purpose is to provide the most appropriate educational setting for all children in a safe and secure environment. So I believe that as a governor, you have to lead by example. Roddensvale is a vibrant school setting. So as such, I believe governors should reflect that. And I hope that we are seen as approachable volunteers who are there to help. Gone are the days of governors who are stuffy people in suits. So as chair of governors, I make sure that I'm visible. The school has a Facebook page, and I make point to comment on all posts so that my name's recognisable to parents and staff and the wider school community. Before COVID, I would have visited the school and spoken to all staff and pupils, although I'm very conscious of not overstepping the mark, as the last thing any principal needs is an overbearing chair of governors. I try to know all the staff by name. I try to know everything about them, not just the class staff, but the wider community staff, you know, the kitchen staff, the bus escorts. As regards to the ethos, I mean, I'm very, very, very fortunate because John and Heather, who are the principal and the vice principal, run a very, very tight ship. And they make my life very, very, very easy. And it's all about Roddensvale being just the caring school environment. And all I do is support their role in trying to achieve that.
So tell me, Maeve, in relation to the Board of Governors at Roddensvale, what do you feel are the values and skill set that are essential to your roles?
As a governor, I think you have to be friendly and approachable. I think that's the first thing. We are a group of people from all different walks of life. And I think it's very important that you acknowledge that, and we acknowledge everybody's skills within the group of governors. Different people have different skill sets. I think as a governor, from my perspective, I think you really need to be very methodical and organised. I mean, I keep all correspondence. I read and analyse all the documentation that comes my way. You have to have good written and oral skills. I mean, I've written letters right up to the EA and even to the minister. I think that you can't underestimate the role that governors have within schools. And I think that that's something sometimes it doesn't sit very easy with me, but the governors can get things done when sometimes the principal and the vice principal can't. But I think that it's just really, really important to make sure that you work with the principal and the vice principal, that we support all staff, that we make sure that, you know, all the policies are in place to support staff and that everything is up to date, and that the policies are regularly reviewed and shared with governors, and that we know what staff are doing, and that makes our life easier when we see staff, because then we can actually converse with them because we do know what's going on. And I think that that's really, really important, that we are there and we are visible and we are seen all the time.
Thanks, Maeve. And I'm very much aware that Roddensvale is the recipient of the Attachment and Trauma Sensitive School Award. How is this reflected in the school's ethos?
As I said before, we are child-centred. The child always comes first. And I think that is just, that it really, really stops at that. You know, everything that anybody does in Roddensvale School, all staff, all governors, it's all to do with what is best for the child, and that we recognise that these children that come into Roddensvale have a host of different issues, that they are respected, that they are loved, that they are encouraged, that they are helped to reach their full potential, whatever that may be, emotionally, physically, across the board. And I think that that's really, really, really important. To be honest, the award that Roddensvale got, it wasn't even really something that was thought about. It was just something that happens naturally within the school. It's just such a wonderful, caring environment.
Great, Maeve. And you mentioned that it's almost effortless, but you may potentially be underestimating your role and the role of the other governors in achieving that award. So tell me a bit more about the Attachment and Trauma Sensitive Award and what it means for practice at Roddensvale.
Whenever it was first mentioned to me, and it was that, you know, we are going to get somebody over from England and we're going to get assessed for this, for, you know, the Bronze Award. It was something I thought, how do you not have this already? This just you know, it should have been, it's just as natural with Roddensvale. I mean, as I said before, we are very child-centred, and I think that's the main thing. Everything that we do is for the child. I mean, we've recognised in the last number of years in Roddensvale that there's an awful lot of, you know, the ASD coming up through the school. I mean, there's 40% of our junior school have ASD, and that comes with associated difficulties. We have one of our teachers has been, we paid for her to go and be a play therapist, which was long before that was acceptable in other schools. We have one of our classroom assistants is the family outreach, and again that is to provide support for parents, it's support within the school community, and whenever then I got the phone call to say, when the assessor came out, they said not only have you immediately achieved the Bronze Award, but actually we're going to come back in just a few short months and we to see a couple of extra tiny bits and pieces and you will actually achieve the Silver Award. I suppose that we just take it for granted because it's just something that Roddensvale has always done. We've always provided that support within the community as well as to the child itself.
That's great. Thanks, Maeve. And it's clear that support for staff is very much a part of this ethos, and that staff development considerations are catered for with the needs of the children in mind, as the example of the play therapist demonstrates. I understand that obviously COVID has presented many challenges for schools across Northern Ireland. How has the school's ethos allowed the school to continue to provide a child-centred approach?
COVID brings many challenges, doesn't it? And all special schools were actually open during COVID when mainstream schools were closed. And what that meant for us, well, there was a period of time where schools were closed. So obviously you have seesaw and you have communication with parents. We have teachers who are ringing parents on a daily basis. We actually opened, when school building couldn't be opened, we did open our outside play areas because we recognised the importance that for some of our children, well, actually the junior school wear a red jumper. And we talk about the magic red jumper because when the child sees their red jumper, they know that they associate that with school, with security, with safety. And for an awful lot of special needs children during COVID, when they didn't have that routine of putting on their school jumper in the morning time and going to their safe place, that upset their routine. So we did actually open some of the outdoor play areas and we encouraged children and parents to come for, you know, an hour at slots, even just to get that journey to school, just to even to get that to be able to be in the school grounds and just access a safe outside space. But as I said, we were actually open during most of the lockdowns, and that included teachers being in school with not the correct PPE and the correct support. But we are really lucky, because I do believe that the staff that we have in Roddensvale is more than just a job. For them, it's a total vocation. And so as a governor, it's really important that we support that they know that we are thinking about them, that we are discussing it at governor meetings. We quite often, I would say to the principal and the vice principal, you know, please put it in the meetings to thank that particular member of staff, or to say that was a job really well done. Please bring it up at their staff meetings. The governors have said, whatever it may be. Obviously, I'm not in the school the way I used to be. I used to be in all the time and used to be able to talk to them, and it's lovely. But even now in the community, if I see somebody, I say, oh, I believe you were doing X, Y, isn't that fantastic? Or, you know, and I think the Facebook page is really good for that, because we do celebrate our children on the school's Facebook page, and I do comment a lot, just to say, isn't that fantastic? Isn't this particular class having a wonderful time? Well done, everybody. It's just really important to praise constantly.
Thanks, Maeve. Your passion for your work at the school is very clear to us. And I'd like to thank you for taking the time to contribute to support for governors in leading school ethos by sharing your experiences at Roddensvale. And I'd like to wish you and all at Roddensvale the very best. Thank you.
Thank you.